Today on the CTV News at 5, nabbed. Police catch the suspect in the shooting of two Mounties. Plus, budget breakdown, what the numbers mean for you. And Sir Elton John fans are already staked out to get tickets to see the Rocket Man.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Hours after his father pleaded with him to turn himself in, fugitive Sawyer Clark Robison is in police custody. Robison is charged with shooting two RCMP officers, one of whom grew up in Lethbridge. 27-year-old Robison was arrested southeast of Killam this morning. Police found him unarmed in a vehicle with two other people. Officers say he didn't put up a fight during the arrest but was very stressed. Robison has been on the run since Tuesday when two Mounties were shot while executing a search warrant for a gun on Robison's family farm near Killam. Robison was seen fleeing the area. The officers, Sidney Gaudet and Sheldon Shaw, are recovering in hospital. Gaudet grew up and took his police training in Lethbridge. Wednesday, police charged Robison with 2 counts of attempted murder and issued a Canada-wide warrant for his arrest. Yesterday, his dad pleaded with him to turn himself in, and police say it played a key role in this investigation.
The public plea made yesterday by Mr. Robison's parents played a significant role in resolving this incident peacefully.
Robison's uncle Brad was found dead from gunshot wounds inside the Killam home. Robison will make his first court appearance on Saturday. Now, there's a developing story unfolding north of Edmonton. Emergency crews are on the scene of a bus rollover west of Redwater. Mounties say shortly after 2 o'clock this afternoon, a Red Arrow passenger bus rolled over west of Redwater on Highway 28. Alberta Health Services is reporting as many as 30 passengers may be injured. Stars Air Ambulance has been dispatched, and as many as 12 ambulances are either on the scene or en route. Police and fire crews are also at the scene assisting paramedics. The highway has been closed to drivers. Police are asking anyone traveling in the area to use an alternate route. A date has been set for a hearing to determine whether a Lethbridge funeral home operator will keep his funeral director's license. In January, Ralph Zettner of Cornerstone Funeral Home pleaded guilty to fraud under $5,000. Police say Zettner billed the government for scattering or burying ashes of homeless people, but didn't actually do it. Zettner will be sentenced on the criminal charge in April. However, the Alberta Funeral Services Regulatory Board will hold a hearing into the matter in Edmonton February 21st. Zettner will be allowed to speak at the hearing. His funeral director embalmer license could be suspended or cancelled. Now, here's an odd one for you. Police are investigating after a fight outside a Coaldale bar took place, and in the fight, a 36-year-old woman lost her left ring finger. Police say it was bit off by another woman in the fight. That person fled the scene. When cops arrived, the victim was taken to hospital. Police are continuing to investigate. Okay, Dory Rossiter, we've got a little bit of everything. You like that variety in the forecast.
Yeah, well, you know, it's never boring that way, right, Jackie? And that's certainly the case over the next few days. We have those colder temperatures today, tomorrow, a little chilly as well, but then we could be +3. That's the way it looks like for Sunday. And then Monday, we have a chance of some flurries. So yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag ahead, but we're certainly not in the deep freeze that some other areas of the country are in, and we certainly don't have the snowfall that other areas have as well. But I'll have the details for you coming up in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Dory. Alison Redford's government has released its first budget, and it appears she's making good on her plans to help Alberta's less fortunate, but it's at the cost of the Sustainability Fund. Despite promises of a $1 billion surplus in 2014, critics say it's an election-targeted budget, and it's coming with a lot of spending and criticism. Daryl Rummold reports.
At City Hall, Mayor Rayko Dodick is greeting news of Thursday's budget with cautious optimism. He says the devil is still in the details and is hopeful it'll be good news down the road. What he knows now is that residents will not see immediate tax increases, but has concerns about the education requisition, which could boost property tax well above the 2.89% increase promised by the city. and that is out of their control.
We don't know what effect their Bill 1, I think it is, will have, and that is the one where they will be essentially looking at zero-based budgeting options for 2013 and going forward.
The concerns come as the city begins to move towards its capital improvement plan. Funding is guaranteed for year 1, but years 2 and 3 are not yet known. University President Michael Mann is a little more optimistic. After years of no movement, post-secondary institutions will see a 2% increase and predictable funding.
I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, we still will have some funding challenges just because of the reality of cost of living increases and salary increases and these sorts of things. But overall, it's a very positive thing for us.
But political scientist Jeffrey Hale isn't quite as optimistic. He says history shows that Alberta budgets are unlike most other provinces and seldom accurate beyond the current year.
This is setting us up down the road for another round of stop-go budgeting unless we are very fortunate economically.
Hale says there are simply too many external forces that could affect the budget down the road. He calls it an election budget filled with rosy promises based on a very optimistic view of economic reality. Whether it can be maintained through the coming years or even the current year is anybody's guess. Premier Redford has promised to pass the budget and then drop the writ on a general election with a campaign scheduled for sometime in mid-March. And despite claims by Wildrose Party leader Danielle Smith that this is an Alice in Wonderland budget, Hale says it'll be hard for her and other parties to overcome spending promises and 40 years of Tory rule in Alberta. Daryl Rummelt, CTV News, Lethbridge.
And Southern Albertans with disabilities are getting a boost in the 2012 budget. Albertans who rely on assured income for the severely handicapped, or AISH, will get a monthly increase of $400. The 34% boost comes weeks after local disability groups approached Lethbridge City Council requesting funds. Lethbridge Association for Community Living staff say that the monthly increase and improved employment exemptions for disabled workers will make a big difference for the community.
And having a little bit of extra money every month might allow them better transportation, easier to be engaged in the community economically, and participate in activities where they will hopefully strike up genuine relationships with others.
The changes will take effect when the new budget starts on April 1st. A Lethbridge church charity may be forced to close its doors if it can't get the bishop's approval to reorganize its financing. Its operators have taken the bishop to court over the matter, and as Alicia Fielberg reports, some parishioners are concerned that recent decisions made by the local Roman Catholic diocese don't consider the needs of the community.
The future of this used clothing store hangs on the decision of a judge. The Catholic Charities Clothes Bank has been struggling for 5 years. Its organizers say their plans to refinance could save the charity, but first they need approval from the Calgary Diocese of the Roman Catholic Church. But its representative, Bishop Fred Henry, doesn't support the plan.
The situation we're faced with is the bankers are saying, yeah, we'd love to help you, but you've got no security.
The organizers have taken the matter to court. A judge will now decide whether the charity or bishop legally owns the buildings where the clothes bank operates. Catholic Charities employs nearly 25 people at its 3 Lethbridge store locations and its processing plant. Donna Prosey has worked here 11 years. She's concerned about the future of her job and the effect on the community.
It's really sad. There's a lot of people coming in who can't afford to shop at the mall, but they're glad that they could afford to buy good stuff here.
Operators say Catholic Charities provides services to help out other local organizations. Its employees process unsaleable clothes for the Salvation Army and 2 other clothes banks. It also operates as a charity for certain clients.
We're averaging over $20,000 a year in goods that we donate to needy individuals.
This isn't the only battle locals have with the current Calgary Roman Catholic Diocese. Parishioners of this and 2 other historical churches the bishop closed last year say they feel disconnected from their spiritual leader.
Members of the Save Our Churches Association have been unsuccessfully petitioning the bishop for months to reopen the buildings. Catholics say local concerns about the bishop's decisions are causing tension and division amongst parishioners.
We're very saddened by it because I for one, don't like to see our diocese, our bishop, and our faith community on the front page or in the press. I would rather that we could resolve these issues without going that route.
The feedback I've been getting from individuals is that they are extremely unhappy with the temporal decisions that he has been making.
The judge will hand down a ruling for the Catholic Charities Closed Bank in the next 3 months. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The Catholic Charities Closed Bank has been serving Lethbridge in its current locations for nearly 30 years. Operators say that they bought the building in the 1980s, but the titles were put in the name of the Bishop of Calgary Diocese. Lethbridge seniors are relearning how to stay safe on the road, whether it's driving themselves or using an alternative form of transportation. AMA joined with the Lethbridge Senior Citizens Organization to educate seniors on driving as they age. The forum addressed safe driving tips, alternatives to driving, and how to make the transition from driver to passenger a smooth one. The seminar paid special attention to medically at-risk drivers and knowing the risk factors that could affect their driving performance.
With an individual with a progressive dementia like Alzheimer's disease, it's not will driving become impaired, it's when will driving become impaired. So it's really important that we have these conversations and help individuals, help families, and help the medical community in identifying medically at risk, medically impaired drivers.
For tips, tools, and ways to keep seniors mobile, you can visit ama.ab.ca/agingdrivers. Well, at the age of 40, she was broke, homeless, and living a life of crime, but today she is the head of a multi-million-dollar corporation. Catherine Ann was at the University of Lethbridge this afternoon to share her rags to riches story. Ann's story is one she hopes that will motivate students who are in a much better place than she was to continue their studies and reach for the stars. She's using herself as a living proof that anything is possible.
I like to come to communities like this too, because a lot of people have similar backgrounds, unfortunately even today, and they think that they can't be anything in life. And putting my story out there, and as hard it is for me sharing my personal story, because I never thought I would be out there talking about it publicly, it does help people say, well, you know what, if the world can really welcome someone like her, maybe I can make some changes and I can be like that too.
Catherine Ann's new book, Beautiful Buttons, is available at Chapters. Tickets go on sale tomorrow morning, and fans are already lining up for a chance to see the Rocket Man at the NMAX Center. Sir Elton John will stop in Lethbridge on April 24th. Neither wind nor snow can keep these fans from getting the best tickets possible. With pitched tents and plenty of coffee on hand, they've settled in for the long haul. Although the tickets are available online, these fans say it's not an Elton John concert until you've staked out your spot in line.
This is probably one of the last opportunities we'll ever have to see him, let alone in our own hometown. So you kind of got to jump at an opportunity like this, and certainly do what you have to make sure you get the good seats.
My girlfriend and I, we've been friends for 41 years, and we've liked Elton for probably 40 of those years. And we've been to 4 of his concerts, and we just said that we needed to be front row one day, and this is a perfect opportunity to be front row.
Tickets go on sale tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. They are available at the NMAX Center box office, by phone at 329-SEAT or online at tickets.com. In the markets today, the loonie closed below parity. Here are the closing numbers.